What's going on, guys? This is Ryan from The Real Strike, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I made my own homemade custom Sabiki rod. Now I'm going to explain some context, so if you just want to skip to the actual build, I'll leave a timestamp down below. Now for those of you that don't know what a Sabiki rig is, it's basically this long leader with a bunch of small hooks to catch bait fish like pinfish, pilchards, or anything else that maybe is in a chum slick. The benefit of a Sabiki rig is that you're able to drop this rig down and possibly catch several fish in one attempt. It's a very efficient bait catching rig. The problem with this rig is that as soon as you take it out of its packaging, it gets insanely difficult to deal with, insanely difficult to store. The hooks get caught on anything and everything, and it's just really a pain to deal with once it's out of this packaging. Now what some rod manufacturers have done is make Sabiki rods, which have been around for a long time. But the problem with Sabiki rods is that they basically hold one purpose, which is to catch bait fish, and they're surprisingly expensive. I went to look at one the other day, and it was $50, and $50 for a rod that has one single purpose, I think that that's a bit expensive. Now after looking around a little bit on YouTube, I got a couple of ideas, and I came up with this. Now keep in mind, we're in some weird times where I can't just go out of my house and buy the materials I need. I built all of this with stuff that was already in my house, and that obviously affected the design of this. So this isn't necessarily a straight up one-to-one tutorial on how to build your own Sabiki rod. It's just showing you how I built my own custom rod with the materials that I had on me. Now the way that this rod works is there's 3 PVC pipes. There's one over here, there's another one over here, and then there's the final pipe down below right here. And this bottom pipe actually acts as a line guide, so this is supposed to simulate the guides on your fishing rod. It's just, one big pipe. Attached to that pipe is a PVC elbow, which will then guide the line down into the water. And then the pipe that's above that elbow, it serves as 2 purposes. So first it's going to extend the length of the rod, and it's also going to serve as a storage space. When you're going to be storing the Sabiki rigs, a good portion of them are going to go right down the line guide pipe. The thing is, this is a very short rod, and I did that on purpose, but to compensate and to store the rest of the Sabiki rig, I am threading the rest of the Sabiki rig into this smaller pipe. That way there's none of the Sabiki rig that's sticking out, no hooks that are getting out and getting caught on anything. Now this rod is only 4 feet tall, which I understand is small for a Sabiki rod. The reason for that is basically 2 things. I'm using the materials that I had on me. I didn't go out to the store to buy any PVC pipe, and I mostly have 1 1/4 inch PVC pipe, which as you add to it gets very heavy. So I didn't want to add too many of those to make this setup excessively heavy. Now let me show you how I built this rod. So here are the materials that I'm going to be using. This is a 2 foot 3/4 inch PVC pipe. This is 2 feet of 1 inch PVC pipe. And this is 20 inches of 1 1/4 inch PVC pipe. I'm also going to be using a 1 1/4 inch PVC elbow. You're going to want your reel of choice, some duct tape, and of course your Sabiki rig. Now I'm not going to lie to you, this isn't too much of a tutorial because it's very straightforward, it's not complicated at all. This video is more of just to give you an idea as to how you could do this, and then you take this information and kind of branch out however you want. So this is the 3/4 inch pipe, this is the 1 inch pipe, and I'm just going to try to connect them just like so. I'm going to use duct tape to tape those 2 pipes together. This should do. Now I understand this doesn't really look that great. This is a jerry rig. You could easily go out and buy your own Sabiki rod if you don't want to do this, but the way that I see it is that this rod is going to cost you either nothing if you already have the materials, or maybe like $5. So if this fails on you, you're only wasting $5. But I have tested this out a little bit, not with actual fish, but I think it should hold. So now what I did was I lined up the thinner 1 inch pipe with the line guide pipe, which again is the 1 1/4 inch pipe, and you're going to connect them like this, and then basically use duct tape to secure them in place. Now this is a little bit further along in the video. I actually forgot to do this, but let me explain this now. The PVC elbow should go on before you start duct taping the line guide to the main rod. The reason for that is once this is duct taped, it's going to be very hard to fit the PVC elbow onto the line guide pipe. So the line guide is now attached. I basically put duct tape on both ends and the middle. You can apply as much duct tape as you want, or as little as you want. I personally did about 2 wraps. And, kind of playing around with it here, doesn't seem to budge. This should be pretty good. So now basically the last step is attaching the reel on the bottom portion, this bottom pipe here. This is my reel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it to the PVC pipe. It actually is flush on the PVC pipe right now. And the goal is you want to align it so that the reel is at the same angle as the line guide pipe. Because the problem is if you were to put the reel up here, now all of a sudden your line has to go back and into the line guide pipe. You want to make sure that it's in line with that one. As far as positioning, where do you want the reel? You don't want it too far down, because if it gets down to a certain point, first of all, this end of the rod is going to be at a weird position. You're not going to have a whole lot of leverage on your rod. And in addition to that, what's going to happen is the Sabiki is going to go through this line pipe, and you're going to have a lot of exposed hooks. So you want to make sure that the reel is pretty high up on the rod. And there you go. This should hold. Again, I did 2 wraps of duct tape on either side of the reel seat. And also, when you're fishing, you're going to be grabbing that reel seat. So the amount of duct tape that's on this part isn't too important. It's just something to keep it stable, and then you're going to reinforce that by actually grabbing that portion. Let me show you how exactly this would work. So now the rod in action. This is the Sabiki rig that is already threaded through the line guide pipe, which again is the 1 1/4 inch pipe. This is 1 1/4, this is 3/4 inch, and then the handle portion is 1 inch PVC pipe. And the reason why I added this is just so that it allows an easier retrieve for the Sabiki rig. I tried it originally without the elbow, but the angle of retrieve, because the regular PVC pipe just goes outwards, made it a little bit difficult for this swivel to enter the PVC pipe just because of an angle thing. So I just added the elbow. I had it, and it worked out a lot better. But again, you can customize this however you want. So now let me demonstrate how this is going to work. Let's assume that the Sabiki rig is already out. So now I'm reeling it in. Okay, that retrieves fine. Now what we're going to have to pay attention to is right down here. Okay, eventually the swivel for the Sabiki rig is going to approach this line roller on the reel. At that point, you want to stop reeling in. At this point, the Sabiki rig would be out of the water, so you can retrieve your weight. And now you're going to take this weight and put it into the 3/4 inch pipe that's on top. Because it's a weight, it's just going to fall down. You let gravity do the work. And boom, all of your Sabiki rig is stored in the PVC pipes. Now, I've showed you how this works. Let me just go over some of the disadvantages of this setup. First of all, obviously this is a very short rod. Usually Sabiki rods are a lot taller so that it can fit all of the rig into the rod. Now, I solved that problem by storing the Sabiki rig both in this bottom pipe and the top pipe. I didn't want to make it any taller because PVC pipe gets heavy, and I had more 1 1/4 inch pipe than I did 3/4 inch pipe, so that would have made the rod incredibly heavy, and I just didn't want that. Another thing to keep in mind is that the Sabiki hooks do sometimes get caught in the PVC pipe. although I think that that is also a problem in regular Sabiki rods. If that happens, it's not really a big deal, because what's going to happen is that the tip of the hook is getting stuck in the pipe, the barb is not going through. So basically you just have to get the tip of the hook off of the PVC pipe. You don't have to worry about a barb. So even though this has some flaws, for $0 to $5, I think that this is a very good solution. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I also want to know if any of you have ever considered making your own Sabiki rod, and if you have, feel free to share your ideas down in the comments below. Maybe some other people can benefit from multiple ideas as to build their own. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video.